Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to share some reflections with you as a new substitute teacher and new teacher in general. If you've been following along with my life, I semi-recently graduated and got my teaching license, but it's in the middle of the school year, so there aren't really empty classrooms per se for me to have my own class, so I'm just substitute teaching in the meantime, and it's been such a ride. I've been learning so much, not only with my style of teaching and classroom management and pedagogy, but also just like a person trying to live out her faith. So I just wanted to share some of those ideas with you. I just wanted to shout out my friends because one of my friends got me this little apple because she said every teacher needs an apple. It's just so cute. For the vibes. This is purely for the vibes. And another friend gifted me this for grad, which is such a thoughtful gift, and I'm so obsessed. It says Miss Lee Science Teacher, and it looks like the letters are glowing, and I'm just so excited to have this in my future classroom. Every time I look at this, I just feel so excited to have my own class and decorate it and just get students also excited about science and learning. But if you're wondering what that says over here, that's what it says. So substitute teaching is not easy. Every day I'm at a different school. The rules are different. The classes are different. The times are different. The procedures are different. The students are different. And it's just, you can never really know what to expect. And I think that's very similar to faith. Sometimes we can't always know what to expect in the future. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be called faith, because if we always knew what was going on, what was happening now and in the future, then there's no need for faith and trust in God. And being a substitute, there's just always last minute changes. Sometimes the sub plans are so confusing. Behavior issues that happen in the classroom, problems that arise. I as a person could not deal with this amount of stress in my life on my own. Like, no way, Jose. So during times of uncertainty in life and in teaching, I just have to rely on God, and that's like the only way to get through sometimes. So one of my life verses, Proverbs 3:5 and 6. This is on one of my Bibles. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Amen. And this is just like such a good example to me of practically living out this verse. Sometimes I just have no idea what's going on, but I have like 20 to 30 kids, children relying on me to know what's going on. Who am I to lead them, But I just, by God's grace, sometimes he just puts words into my mouth or like shows me the way to go. Like, I don't know where music class is, but suddenly it's like, it's right there. Just like things I can't really explain well, but I just trust that God will take care of me. And whenever I do that, I always feel very confident, like, you know what, I got this. My kids are safe. I know what to do ish, and we're gonna have a good day. An example, there's this time in first grade that one of my students was about to cry because someone called him annoying, and I didn't know what to do, but I was like listening to him and hearing him out, like, are you okay, buddy? Do you need anything from me? Would you like me to talk to the other student? So he's like, yes, I'd really like for you to talk to him. So I pulled the other student aside. I said, hey, I'd really like for you to apologize to your friend. I understand that sometimes it's easy to be frustrated and we might say things, but our words have a lot of power and they can really hurt someone else. So I just want to know why you called your friend annoying. And he's like, he's so annoying because he keeps talking to me and I'm just trying to get my work done. Okay, I'm listening. I don't really know what to do, but suddenly I just think of something I saw or heard somewhere, and I told him, I understand that you feel annoyed that this is happening, but maybe next time let's rephrase it and tell your friend, hey, I would really appreciate if you could give me some personal space right now because I'd like to finish my work, but I'd love to talk to you after. Then I asked the boy, do you think that's a nicer way to say it? He's like, yeah, I'm really sorry I called him annoying, and he immediately apologized to his friend. They made up. He's no longer crying, and it's like, okay, we're good. And sometimes little things like that just happen. I don't know what to do, but I just like, okay, what would what would Jesus do? I don't know. And felt like the Lord just gave me the words to share to help de-escalate the situation. Like it wasn't a big deal. It could have gone worse, but it's just a story. I don't think that I could have handled that with the grace had it not been for God's wisdom. Thanks, homie. Another thing is that I just have to rely on God's strength a lot of the times. There's many days I just wake up and it's like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., and I'm a night owl, by the way. So this is like not my ideal time to wake up, if you will. So I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself? I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do this. Or like, I had such a bad day yesterday. I don't know how I'm going to do it today. So I just wake up and I pray, literally like verbatim, God, I need your help today. I can't do this without you. And every single time that I pray that, even though it's such a simple prayer, He just gives me the strength to go through the day. And it's just, if you're a teacher or healthcare worker or anything in those types of fields, you know how exhausting it could be, like physically, emotionally. There's just always work to do, always something to do. Like the work is never done. And it's hard to go home and not think about it because you're always worried about your patient or your student or, XYZ. In jobs and times like these, you just have to rely on God's strength. And the joy of the Lord is my strength. Every time I'm feeling like I can't do it, I am reminded Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's just like such a good promise and reminder that God is always with me and I can do anything. Like the world is my oyster and we'll get through this. And as a teacher specifically, I've learned very quickly that it can get very emotionally exhausting because a lot of the times, especially with the younger grades, they don't really have emotional regulation skills. So they're kind of relying on you to help them navigate their emotions and stay calm and collected. And sometimes I have to put my feelings and like my own health on the back burner because I have to care about everyone else's health. I'm still navigating that. But yeah, I can't really explain it. I have a story with this one. My very first day of substitute teaching, I was in this first grade class. So stressed. But what a day it was! One of my students has some behavioral issues and she's known to throw tantrums and whatnot. And I was like, how bad can it be? Anyway, like after recess or something, she comes back to class and something happened. She's just like so upset about who knows. But she's just really upset. She goes around class shoving everything off the desk. She goes through students' little cubbies, pulls out their backpacks, and like throws things across the room. And I'm like, my goodness, what do I do? This is my first day of teaching, by the way. I am scared to call office for help because I don't want them to think that I don't know how to handle this. So I'm going to try to handle this. If it gets out of hand, I'll call the office. So I like slowly approached her, try to calm her down, cleaning up her mess so the other students won't be upset that their stuff is thrown across the room. And I just like try to talk to her, calm her down, listening to why she's upset. And by the grace of God, it somehow worked. And she really de-escalated. I said, hey, like, let's go sit in the calm down corner and let's, take a couple deep breaths. And I don't remember what I said, but it worked somehow. And man, if admin knew about that, I think they did know, because at the end of the day, the principal came up to me and she said, "You are so amazing. You're welcome here anytime." But literally, I cannot tell you how that all happened. That was not me. That was purely, I think God was on my side. If it was me, I would have freaked out and probably started crying. Not by my strength, but the Lord. Man, that was a crazy day. But just like, I have so many examples of that. Like, I don't even know what happened anymore. It's just like things happened, and I don't know how, but we figured it out. And I don't think it was me. Like, no way it was me, because I'm very emotional also, and I'm very empathetic. So if someone's crying, I'm crying. In that moment, I knew that I had to push everything aside and help these kids regulate themselves emotionally. Not my strength, but God's strength. So this reminds me of my next point, which is a lot of patience and grace for others and also for yourself. So the Bible in Colossians 2:12, it says, "So as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience." This is a lot easier said than done. Yeah, I think I've always tried my best to be a patient and gentle person. Sometimes I am really good at that, and this past month or so has really been refining that trait in me, and I'm very thankful. But I only have so much of it at the same time, and I tend to struggle a bit more once I get home. Yeah, teachers and decision fatigue and just a million questions every day. You go home and one more question, you're gonna lose your mind. I really have to practice patience. Like when my poor parents were like, "Hey, how was your day?" And I'm like, "No, another question. I just want to go to sleep." Or even with myself, I have to try to nurture patience within myself, because when I mess up, I'm really hard on myself. And I need to give myself the same type of grace and patience that I give to my students. I'm really good at that with my students, but not as good when it comes to my family and myself. So that is something I need to work on a little bit more. And I think that substituting has really pointed that out to me. That's an area of refinement for me. And all of this just makes me even more thankful for Jesus, because of how patient and loving he is to everyone, to the disciples, like Peter, constantly messing up, but Jesus constantly forgiving and loving on him. And me, I'm constantly messing up, but Jesus is constantly loving on me and forgiving me. And it's just like, you just want to emulate Christ more. So I just want to be more patient, more gentle, and expand my expand my capacity, because I need to extend that same patience toward my family and toward myself. Another thing is in being reminded that I ought to be a light in the world. And right now I'm in public school. I've always wanted to be in public school over private school. They pay better, which isn't much. Teachers don't really get paid that much. But also, I've always felt this conviction that I want to stay in the public school space, because kids that go to private school, they probably have, most of the time, they have parents of the faith, or there's teachers of the faith, But what about everyone else? Kids in public school also need to have good role models and people who believe in them and speak life into them. Even if I can't, publicly share about my faith at school and stuff like that, I can still plant seeds into their lives by the way I live and the way I treat them and believe in them. So, Matthew 5:14-16. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Your light must shine before people in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Regardless of whatever job or career or hobbies you have, you can be a light in someone's life by the way you show kindness, you show empathy, the way you encourage other people, the way you stay calm and help other people stay calm. One of the nicest compliments I think I've ever received, one of my friends told me, "You have such a calming presence or aura about you that it's just so easy to be calm." She said this because her dog is very anxious. That poor dog. Her dog's really anxious, but around me, she's not as feisty. So she said, "Rebecca, you're just so calm that my dog is like, she can sense your aura." And I was like, that's crazy. But it's true. I learned this very early on that people can really sense your energy. Kids, they know when you don't know what's going on. They can sense fear and intimidation, and they will use it against you. But if you walk into the classroom with confidence and you speak directly but firmly and kindly, you got it. Even if you don't, the way that you live can really impact others even beyond what you may ever know. And I've had a lot of people tell me like how I impacted them by this small thing that I did for them one time, and I don't even remember it that much, but it really resonated with them. And I can think of plenty of times that people have really encouraged me or built me up or turned my whole day around by something small that they said or did. And they might not even remember, but I will always remember. So yeah, that's just like, you can be a light no matter where you are or what you do, and glorify God in anything. And that's just like really cool to me. Another reflection point is that really related to that is the idea of planting seeds. Even though I can't talk about my faith very publicly at school, I can still show them that there's something different about me. That sounds so pick me. There's something different about the way I live my life and the way I carry myself that is different from how other people might live. Those are a lot of words to not say anything, but anyway, 1 Corinthians 3 verse 6. Paul, I planted, Apollos watered, but God was causing the growth. A lot of the time we might not see the long-term impact of our work, but small moments of kindness and compassion and wisdom can really plant seeds into other people's lives. And they really plant a lot of seeds. I have a couple stories related to this, but I don't think we have time for it, so I will save that for another video. But I'll just say that students do notice that I am not like other subs, and even though I'm very new to the game, I've already become the preferred sub for a couple classes, which is like so crazy. My first class ever, that first grade class with the tantrum, I've actually been there a couple of times already, and I have become a preferred sub for that class in that school, so that's kind of crazy. But literally, it goes to show it's not me, it's all God, and little things really do make an impact. Kids they really hold on to the things that you say to them and how you treat them, how you talk to them, the tone of your voice, like they pick up on all of it. And not just like, obviously not just kids, because we all do that too. So we have so much power and influence on other people, and it's really up to us if we use it for good or for bad, because within the tongue lies the power of life and death. And that's just so true. So I'll share those stories another time, but I want to go on to my final point, which is Mark 10:45. Jesus came to serve, not to be served. And in teaching, there's a lot of servanthood. Today, I was supposed to have 3 out of 4 classes, but they were really scrambling, and one of the teachers' emergencies, I don't know what happened, but they asked me like, "Hey, can you also cover during your prep period. And I was like, okay, sure. Therefore I only had like 10-15 minutes of lunch because the rest of my lunch was trying to find the classroom and figure out the sub plans and read the plans and get the class ready and put the slides up. And I didn't have a break during any other time of the day, so I also really needed to pee. But you know what? Jesus came to serve, not to be served. And I also grew up with this mindset of like excellence in doing everything for God, working for God, not for man. Work at it with all your heart. So every time I sub for someone, I try to write really extensive notes for them. Not extensive. I try to write good notes for them about what we did, who was absent, who were star students, which students needed reminders, what we completed, what we didn't complete, and just like other observations. And I always like wipe all the tables and put the chairs up and sharpen all the pencils I find and like try to find things to do, like organizing to help the teacher for when they come back, because usually they're having a sub because they're sick or out of town or busy with something. And I just like want to help them when they come back to their normal class. I really enjoy this job because I get to serve, and that's one of my top love languages, acts of service. Just like stepping in to help both the teachers and the students and spending my day trying to find things that I can help other people with. It's like, I love doing that. I don't know where I was going with all of that, but I really noticed that side of me has become more predominant. So I just like really been enjoying finding things to do and helping other people, even if it's like picking up trash so the janitor doesn't have to clean as much. Today, even though I had like no prep period and no break, I tried my best, and then I went to both classrooms and wiped the tables and stuff to and try to tidy up the rooms, and I hope that's helpful to the teachers for when they come back. All in all, I've been having so much fun and learning so much, and just like all this makes me really appreciate Jesus even more because man, he does all of this and more, and like no sin, like no resentment, no bitterness, no anything, just pure love and steadfastness and faithfulness, and like man, we don't deserve him at all, but he's so good to us. And Jesus, truly the ultimate teacher. He knew how to reach people in different places, different cultures, different teaching styles. Some people he taught with parables, some people just direct teaching, etc. I could really learn a lot about teaching just like going over Jesus's teachings and how he taught. That is such an idea. Wow. I don't know if this video made any sense, but I'm having fun and I get to have a little video diary on where my life is. So yeah, if you're still watching, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. Please comment this emoji and know that you are a real one, and I so appreciate you. Thanks for being here. As always, remember to stay humble and be kind, and God loves you so much. Bye. For